Um, can you give us a quick introduction? I'll start with you, Victoria. Let everybody here know who Victoria is.
Hi everyone, so I am Victoria Inebeli. I am a front-end mentor at Zuri, and of course I have other activities in my life, like I'm an ambassador for other protocols, Web3 protocols. But yeah, I'm basically going to come in here as a mentor for Zuri.
Yay! Thank you, Victoria. I'm sure that a lot of the graduates here today know Victoria. Um, so let's move on to Sean. Tell us about you.
Hello, everybody. My name is Sean. I'm one of the amazing co-founders of Ingressive for Good. So yeah, I focus on operations, all the fun stuff like compliance and legal stuff and accountants. So that's primarily my focus. I think it's mostly Hanifa and Blessing and the other parts of the team that get to do the fun and cool stuff. But I'm just really happy and excited to be a part of this team, to be in this graduation ceremony as proof that a lot of the hard work the team and the people here are putting in is actually paying off. And I look forward to pushing and getting us to make something even better out of this. Jobs, bigger community, people launching companies, all types of amazing stuff. I see a lot of potential here and I'm excited.
Yes. Excited too. Thank you so much, Sean. Mark, please tell us a bit about yourself.
Hi, everyone. Mark Essien. I'm the founder of Hotel Sadenji, a startup in Nigeria. And I am also the chief mentor for HNG internship, which some people will be attending later. I'm a big supporter of Zuri and I guess passionate about the whole training industry, making sure that people can code very well and so on. Yeah, I think that's the short of it.
Yes, thank you so much, Mark. So I'll just start my first question with you. I'd like you to tell us about your first job and how you got it. A lot of people here are going to be embarking on this journey where they're just going to be getting their first jobs. So I want them to hear from you, who is a top person now, and learn from how you got yourself your first job.
That's to me, right?
Yes, Mark.
Well, my first job was not in tech at all. Is that fine?
Well, yes. Tell us about how you got your first job and then how you jumped into tech from there.
Okay, well, the very first job that I had, I did secondary school in Nigeria, but my university was in Germany. And even though the German education is free, university education is free, like I went there and I didn't have any money. Like I had to basically finance, pay for my rent, pay for my house and everything. And, my parents, I think they were very happy that I left. They just said, go, just sort yourself out. You'll make it however you want to do. So I arrived there. I just had a little bit of euro, like 100 euro or something like that. So it was barely enough. I stayed with my sister for a while, was just living off her. And she was telling me, go get a job, go get a job. And I didn't really speak the language too well. I didn't know too much of what was going on. And my sister was working at one place where they were taking care of people that were very sick. And she now spoke to the boss there and they asked, is there any job available? And then there was a job available for me. So my first job was basically taking care of a paralyzed man, like through the night. I was doing the night shift and the guy was paralyzed from his neck downwards. And he couldn't move his body consciously, but in the night sometimes he would unconsciously move, and there was always the risk that he would turn over and maybe suffocate himself. So my job was just to sit in the kitchen and wait in case if I hear any sound, then I have to go over, check that he's okay and come back. So it's a night job, but I was absolutely not allowed to sleep because if I slept and something happens, then the guy could die. So it was like, normally like if you're guarding, you're doing a gate man job or whatever, you can sleep, no problem, and just wake up when something happens. But in my case, I wasn't allowed to sleep at all. And that is actually when I started learning coding. I had Visual Basic CDs. They used to send them in the post back then, and I had a laptop. So I had a laptop, I had Visual Basic CD. I'd arrived by 9 p.m. And from 9 p.m. till 6 a.m., I had to stay awake coding, zero opportunity to sleep, no matter how tired I was. And I was very lucky because the coding was what was actually keeping me awake. You know, if you just sit and look into the sky, like your eyes could close. But when you are coding, and it was the first time I was coding, I had a book that I was reading. Back then, the guy didn't have internet, by the way. Like I was really using a book, and I was using the manuals that were on that CD to learn. So, you know, just doing that all through the nights and so on. I did that for quite some time. It took me through the strong fundamentals of coding. And I guess my first job was also how my tech career started, even though that it had nothing to do with tech.
Oh my God, Mark, that was super inspiring. I mean, that that's the kind of story that a lot of people have, but they don't take the most advantage of. You had something that looked like lemons and you made lemonades out of it. So really amazing. Same story, same question to Victoria.
Okay, so my first job, right? So how I got my first job, I got my first job by putting myself out there, right? So when I started learning tech, I came to realize that you have to, for you to get a job in tech, you have to put yourself out there and help people see what you can do, right? The potentials in you. So I basically um I learned front-end engineering online, right? Through an online training. And after that, I really started putting myself out there. I didn't get a paid job at first, but I considered it a job. I actually volunteered. I knew that, okay, volunteering is one way to get people to notice you, right? So I started volunteering. I volunteered first of all, Ladies Do Tech, right? Um, a community of ladies, right? Centered on bringing ladies into tech. So I volunteered there, and then I volunteered for the Polygon chain, right? And I kept on just putting myself out there, doing things for them for free. And from there, right, I actually landed my first paid job, and then I also got a contract with Zuri. So basically, I would say my job, my tech life, my progress is basically based on the fact that I kept on putting myself out there and trying to show the world what I can do, right? So that is it for me, basically.
Amazing, amazing stuff. I don't know if you guys are taking notes, but number one, don't sleep. Number two, show your work every single time. Sean, same question to you, please.
All right, so this is a little bit interesting because I'm a little bit on the fringes of tech, but I guess I'll still go ahead and tell my story a little bit. So my first job was Dairy Queen. I am about to severely age myself throughout this conversation. So the way I got my first job with Dairy Queen was back basically when I would jump on my bicycle. I would ride all the way to all of the fast food restaurants in my area, and you would sit down in there and you would write your application, fill it out, and maybe they call you, maybe they don't. So I got my first job serving ice cream to random people in my neighborhood. So that was not really well thought out. You can imagine the pressure of all your friends coming by to not only laugh, but to also ask you for free stuff, which I could not give out. So that's kind of the first job. But to transition into how I got into, let's say, where I am in tech now, I am not a developer. And I don't have any tech skills, I would say, if you're looking at it from like hardcore skill sets. But what I've continued to learn is that the tech space is so broad. It reaches into so many different areas where the way I'm kind of looking at it now, the way we use technology and the way it's proliferated, there is nobody outside of tech. But to take us back, I was always interested in tech because of my father. My father was always a gadget guy. So he was the one that was playing on Atari, would never let me touch it. He got the Nintendo back in the day. He wouldn't let me touch it. And then finally one day, I think he took mercy or something on me, but he got a computer and set it up in my room. And this thing was basically MS-DOS time frame. So black screen, green letters, and that's where I started kind of typing in, playing around on computers and different stuff like that. So that was kind of like where I knew that I was always interested in tech. I always kind of followed what were the new innovations, what were the new developments and different things like that. And I always wanted to kind of stay close to it. From my perspective, I always looked at older people, especially when smartphones came out, when you would give an older person a phone and how they looked kind of confused. I never wanted to be that person. I never wanted to be the person feeling like I was outside. I didn't understand the new direction and the new places the world was going. So later on down the road, there was this company called Cricket, basically, which was a wireless cell phone store. The cheapest service you can get. They always open stores in the hood, like in the hood, the ghetto, the trenches. And it was there that I started getting in on the back end of kind of like more of the sales part of tech, understanding how things work, understanding how the applications that people are creating are now kind of proliferating and impacting and changing how people live their life. So I kind of, especially the way smartphones are kind of dominating people's attention now, I kind of got to see that whole transition. And we're talking about where BlackBerry with the little roll ball in the middle transitioned into like real life touchscreen phones. And then you just started seeing so many different applications, the expansion into music and all these other different things. But I'll end it there. But that was kind of how I got into tech and how I got really, really interested in, will continue to be within the tech space, even though I don't code.
Thank you so much for that input, Sean. I'll be moving on to Victoria. What's your, favorite part of being a front-end engineer? And what do you think the graduates should look forward to the most?
So basically, I didn't start my tech life with front-end engineering, right? I was into data science before I switched to front-end, right? What I really like about front-end is the fact that you are able to see what you're working on, right? You're able to see live, like as you code, you're able to see the designs you're bringing into life and everything like that. Yes, it's actually a very, very wide space because you have to be updated, you have to know what's happening, and then you have to build for like different screen sizes and all of that. But basically, front-end engineering is actually very wholesome because you get to see what you're working on and you get to see people use your product, like interact with your product, right? And you get to hear their experiences, right? So basically, the fact that you get to see what you're building, right, what you're working on as you work is actually amazing for me. And for those guys doing front end, like students that just graduated from graduated in the front end course, I really encourage them to stay up to date, right, and keep on building, right? So basically in tech, you actually grow by building, you learn by building. Everything in tech is all about practicing. So for those that studied front-end engineering in this cohort, I'm so very sure that the visuals is actually one of the reasons why they picked front-end engineering. And so basically, just keep pushing and keep building, right? Keep building products that will wow the whole world.
Thank you so much, Victoria. My next question, I'll be starting with you again. And, there's this thing about how people are always talking about how techies make 6 figures, fast, they're earning in dollars and all of those kinds of things. And then there's another group of people that, keep on coming out to say that it's not as easy as we say. And what's your take on this? What do you think the graduates should look forward to? Is it easy? Is it not easy? Is there something they can do to ease it for them?
So definitely, it's not actually easy to make so much money. Like nothing is easy in life, right? The only thing that actually makes something appears easy is your willingness, right? And your energy to put in effort to achieve what you want, right? So in tech, yes, there's money in tech because it's tech after all, right? You get to build solutions for different projects, and then you get to also, you're not limited, right? You have the opportunity to even work for companies abroad, and then you get paid in dollars, right? So yes, in as much as you get the opportunity to earn so much in tech, I can't really say it's so easy because you have to put in the work to be able to get that amount of pay, right? Because yes, there are so many people into tech, but not everyone into tech is making that amount of money, right? So we have so many talents in tech, and what really makes you stand out, or what really puts you in the position to earn that amount of money is what you can do and what you're willing to do, right? So basically, in as much as we can earn so much in tech, I can't really say it's easy, because if I say it's easy to be like, oh, once you just get into tech, you can just start earning money and all that kind of stuff. No, it is easy in the sense that tech is a good space to earn money, but it is hard in the sense that you have to put in the work to get the pay.
I agree with you. Sean, could you please answer the same question?
Sure. I don't know if it's easy to get jobs paying dollars and getting like all of these huge sums of money. But I do know it's easy to ruin your reputation. I mean, the world is this big and amazing place, but when you start talking about like social dynamics, friend groups, circles, and different things like that, it's not as big as you think. So I think you have to know that people talk. The things that are put out there into this world, especially on the internet, are out there forever. So people can kind of, the things that you do today, not to sound too deep, but it will echo throughout history. So you just have to be careful what you put out there. I mean, it's important that you have the knowledge, the tools, and the resources to get the job done well, so you can actually have and start building your reputation. I think it's very, very important that you're able to, build out your portfolio, build out your resume, and build out your history of success, and be able to share that so you can continue to move up in the jobs and different things that you want. And just at the end of the day, integrity, like these things should mean something. So again, it's not that easy. And a lot of people who are really pushing to try to do these things are not always being honest with what their skill sets are. And it puts people in difficult positions. So no, it's not that easy if you're being honest with your skill set, because the people who are paying these large amounts of money are looking for particular skill sets. They're looking for people who have been able to know how to serve certain types of problems at a certain level. And again, you don't want to embarrass yourself out there. So it's not that easy.
Thank you so much, Sean. Mark, the same question for you, please.
All right. So the question was if it's easy to earn a lot of money in tech, right? Like the big dollars. Is that the question?
Yes, and the kinds of things that it can do to help them get there.
Okay. So I've seen hundreds, like literally hundreds of people go through their tech career over the last few years. And the primary thing I've found is this: there is nobody who everybody was saying this guy or this girl is so good that hasn't ended up ultimately earning quite a large amount of money. Like the minimum that I'm seeing now is like $2,000 a month. But the prerequisite was always that they were actually very good. But there are a lot of people who are kind of in the beginning, maybe just like they're kind of in the bottom 20, 30%, who see those guys and then they immediately want to skip, the remaining 70% and immediately start earning the $2,000. But it just doesn't work that way. The money comes from the skill. And there is no shortcut around it. Like you can't apply to 1,000 places in the hope that you'll get the money when you don't have the skill. I've seen people who have actually done that. They have lied their way into companies and they have gotten kicked out many, many times. And there are people right now that I would not touch with a very long pole. I would never recommend them anywhere because they went to places and they kind of ruined their reputation. And
2 minutes ago.
yeah, like, and I wouldn't, like, I'm not going to ruin my reputation by recommending them anywhere. As, sorry, some of those. So I think the primary consider, and there is no shortage of jobs for people of a certain skill level, but there is a huge shortage of jobs for people that don't have that skill level. And that is really where the difference is. And people don't realize that the reason that they are not getting a job is because their skill is not up to the level. And they shouldn't be putting more effort into getting a job. They have to be putting more effort into improving their skills to that level. And everybody knows, like when you are at that level, nobody needs to tell you, like you will know, the people around you will know, everybody will be recommending you, like nobody's going to begrudge you anything. It'll be obvious. But when you are kind of like, okay, yeah, I'm having imposter syndrome and all that. Yeah, dude, you are an imposter most likely. Just take your time, slow down, learn. And most people that are going through boot camps, like maybe this boot camp, they're probably in their 6th month of tech. And there's a certain place you reach where it feels like you know everything. But actually, you have just kind of crossed like the first step of enlightenment, where you know enough to feel you know a lot, but you don't know enough to know how little you don't actually know. So you kind of have to take a few more steps, and then you're going to look back at yourself and think, oh shit, that guy was an idiot. I was an idiot back then. And when people are at around that 6-month mark, 6 months to 1 year, you tend to fall into that trap where you think that, okay, yeah, now I can go for the big bucks, but you actually are not ready. It takes about 2 years of steady, constant daily coding or designing or digital marketing or whatever till one actually gets to that level. And even then, that's still a junior role. In the international center, that's still very much a junior role. And all the intermediate and so on happen at around the 4-year mark. So I think that the expectations in many ways are warped, and people need to actually just calm down and learn and learn and learn. Put themselves in an environment where they are really working every day as long as possible with as good people as possible, with somebody that is helping them, like a more senior dev that is correcting them and helping them and pushing them. They should go there, do that for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, do what it takes. After that, they are like, a catapult that has now been pulled all the way to the edge. There's so much potential, and it's easy, super easy for them to get a job. They barely do interviews. All those people you see going abroad, that's where they are. So I would say that the summary of it is there's a lot of jobs and there's a lot of big money for people with a lot of skills. And there are a lot of people with very low skills that are trying to go for that job, and they are struggling hard to go for the job instead of struggling hard to improve their skills. And that should be the focus of everybody here. Thanks.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Mark. That was an excellent input. I'll just start with you on the next question, which is after these people have developed their skills, what other things can they do to improve their employability?
After that, I would say that the biggest factor tends to be your connections. So the people you know, because many people that I know got their jobs because somebody that they knew who was kind of at the same level as they ended up in a job and kind of told them the tricks, made the recommendation or something of that sort. So building a kind of network around you of people kind of at your same level. And it's not like, okay, I'm going to go and bug some guy that looks big on Twitter all the time and then he's going to become my best friend. It doesn't happen that way. Rather, the existing people around you, you see the people that are learning very much. You see the top guy that is still kind of at your level. Stay in contact, continue going, and that guy is getting good. That guy at some point will end up, if your group is maybe 20 people, 15 people or so, as those people are jumping into opportunities, they are the ones that will advise you the best. There's nothing really that we can say today that we really know how the market or what is really going to be going on 2 years from now. But the people that are doing this career with you will end up being in that place and they will know what's going on. And instead of you looking with your 2 eyes, you're looking with 15 eyes times 2, 30 eyes, all searching. And those are the people giving you feedback. A person that has gotten a job in a company that's earning well is not going to begrudge you getting your own job and also earning well. So I think that quite apart from the soft skills and all the other nice things that you should do, your contacts, your social network, the people that you are around are a very, very big factor in you actually ending up getting the job that you want.
Thank you so much, Mark. I'd like to address the same question to Victoria.
Okay, so what Mark said is so true, right? Your connections actually really, really matter, right? You have to build a very strong connection with people, right? They are those people are the people that will help you, right? But like I said, having the connection is good, but improving your skills too. Like you want to keep on improving, even if you have learned like the basics of, for example, now those that learned front end in the Zuri training, they have learned HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and some other very important aspects of development, right? After learning that, you don't want to stop there, right? You want to keep on improving your skills so that when you have made these connections, right, you don't make it hard for them to refer you, because people only refer those people that they know are good, right? So nobody wants to embarrass themselves by referring somebody that is not good enough, right? So you want to keep on improving yourself, improving your skill set, and then you can also help yourself. You don't really need to also wait, right? Your connections are very, very important, but you don't need to just sit back and do nothing, right? You can also help yourself. You can volunteer at companies. If you have the opportunity to volunteer, because most times when you volunteer and you're so good, they end up retaining you, right? So you can volunteer, and then improving your skills would mean building more and more and more, right? So you can also like participate in open source projects, right? You can contribute to open source projects. This project will actually help you grow yourself, right? Help you grow your portfolio, and then also give you the experience you need, because most times when you actually want to get a job, they'll tell you what's your experience, where have you worked before, right? Working on open source projects is actually a very great experience. So you can improve yourself by working on open source projects, contributing to different projects, and just basically building yourself, putting yourself out there, and volunteering, right? So connection, volunteering, working on open source project, and basically improving yourself as a whole. This will actually help you get a job faster.
Thank you so much, Victoria. Everybody that has spoken here today has talked about, your reputation and how if you have a connection with somebody important and then the person, puts in a word for you and then you get the job and then you mess it up. I mean, that just speaks to the future and how, you're never you're never going to, get such recommendation again. Mark said something about how there are people that you will not touch with a 6-foot pole, and you don't want to be that person. So if you've learned any other thing from this session so far, tweet it, tag Ingressive for Good, tag Zuri team, and then use the hashtag I4GZuri graduate. Let people know that something is happening here and that you're learning from it. So Sean, I'm going to let you answer the same question.
Thank you. I think they touched on already some of the points that I wanted to mention. So I will mention a couple of other ones. One being join the alumni Telegram group, I4G alumni, right? So what we do in that group is for people who graduate from programs like this, we share job openings, we provide different like resources like ebooks, we do webinars and different things like that to help with upskilling. And then we also bring in professionals to give advice and different stuff like that. So join the group. That would be one thing to help you guys increase your employability. I would also say that just kind of look at just kind of keep a future view and look at where tech is heading and where things are going. I think that being on the bleeding edge, so to speak, in certain spaces, in newer spaces of tech where there are less people competing for the jobs and different things like that. Or even there are also evolutions in the spaces that people may be participating in now. So, you know, tech changes faster sometimes than people change clothes. So it's just to be continuously staying on top of it, doing research, reading articles in different ways like that, and be looking for what are some of the latest ways that you're able to leverage technology. I would also say like finding interesting ways to kind of specialize what you're learning is also interesting. Looking at combining certain tech skills with certain industries. Something that's interesting that I'm seeing popping up is like data science and climate change, right? So there are these things that one is kind of techie, one is not, but you're able to bring those skills into those places in ways that other people might not have known they've needed. So kind of, you know, being able to create a need or create demand for your skill set as well. Another thing we've always talked about, everybody said reputation, reputation, reputation. I think knowing how to assess your skill sets and just getting a fair judgment for like where you are will help with your conversation when you're looking for jobs. I would say just start understanding how to build your personal brand for your professional aspirations, knowing how you want to communicate yourself, how you want to speak to the skills that you have. All of those different things will kind of help push you forward in those spaces. But so yeah, thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. I'm a big preacher of personal brand, so what's that word? I attend this message. So any final words from you, Sean?
Yes, I do have a few final words. I would say that start looking at building your own path and building your own version of what success looks like, and start tracking your progress. It's easy to chase someone else's version of success. And it's easy to kind of be led by some of the directions that society pushes us in. But what I find is even if you achieve happiness in those spaces, it's not sustainable. For me, I wake up as happy as I can be because I'm doing exactly what I want to do. I mean, I made sacrifices, I worked hard, it wasn't easy, but it's like today I'm reaping the rewards, let's say, of seeds that were sowed like years ago. So of course, everybody liked it better when I had a 6-figure job and I was living in Chicago and people could come and visit me and ask me for money and stuff like that. And people are not as excited about me, you know, running a foundation in Nigeria, but my own satisfaction and my own happiness is at such a level that I wouldn't trade it for anything. So what I can say at this point is, again, you guys just really start digging deep and taking some time to yourself in a quiet room and just really build out what your version of success is, what makes you happy, and what are the things that you can do and feel good doing.
Thank you so much, Sean. So I'll move on to Mark to tell us his final words.
All right. So my final words are more practical advice or direction. So I just want to advertise a little bit the HNG 9 program that is coming soon, also in partnership with Ingressive for Good. If some of you might have heard of the HNG program, it's similar to the Zuri training that you have gone through, but it is targeted towards intermediate to advanced, meaning if you have successfully completed Zuri training, then you are perfect to join the HNG program. Other people can also join. And there it's more competitive, it's faster paced, but it's designed to bring people out that are really going to be ready to start their first job. And some people are actually quite advanced. They go to quite advanced jobs. So I want to promote the HNG 9 program that's coming very soon. I would strongly advise everybody to join. It's not so easy like Zuri. Not everybody completes it because it is more challenging. But even if you don't get to the end, you are going to learn a lot by participating in the program. I'm the chief mentor there. So for a few weeks, we'll be dealing, you'll be dealing with me. I'll be talking to you for, every day to push you forward. So I think this is for me a little bit of advertising time. Outside of that, I just want to say that everybody is in the right career at the right time. There is no career that is going to be better, that's going to be more fulfilling, that's going to work better financially for most people here outside of what they are doing now. For people in Africa, people in Nigeria, this is really a one-time opportunity to get in at the bottom floor, to get in when the elevator is about to take off. So I'd say that everybody's doing the right thing. Just keep at it, just persist, keep doing these trainings, keep improving yourself, and come join HNG9. Thanks.
Thank you, Mark. Victoria?
So basically, congratulations again to the graduates, right? You all enrolled for the Zuri training in partnership with Ingressive for Good, and you've come this far, right? What I need you guys to do is to, first of all, sit down and ask yourself what you have learned, right? I know many of you, some people did not make it to the end of the project phase, right? Because of some reasons, like maybe they didn't submit their project on time, or they could not work well with their teammates and stuff like that, right? But I need you guys to sit down and ask yourself what you have learned, what you struggled with, and what you think you should improve on, right? When you sit down and you think about all this, you should have a clearer roadmap, right? Because some people here, I know some people enrolled for the Zuri training, some people picked front end, some people picked back end, some UI UX, right? And some people did this without really looking into what this would mean, right? So what I'm trying to say basically is, if you have come to the end of this training, right, you need to actually sit down and think. If you enrolled for front-end engineering and you've done so well, you still need to ask yourself if this is the career path you want to stay continue with, or you want to change to another stack, right? Nobody's actually forcing you to stick to one particular track. So you can actually sit down and decide for yourself, okay, I did this training, I did this, I did that. Is this what I really want? Because when I started with data science, and then I switched to front end, and front end has been amazing for me. So you want to sit down and ask yourself what you really want. So if you have decided that, okay, yeah, you're sticking with front end, you're sticking with back end, or you're sticking with any of the tracks you actually applied for, you want to keep on researching in that direction, right? You don't want to engage yourself in too many things and get distracted. You want to make sure that, okay, you are known for this. This is what you do, and you're known for this, right? And then you learn some soft skills during the training. You learned how to work with team members. You learned the importance of following instructions, right? Because we had some people that would do a lot of work, put in a lot of work to solve a particular problem, to build a solution for a particular problem, and you just end up finding out that you are actually building a solution for a problem that was not even given to you, right? So we had people learn the hard way, right? So you want to sit down and realize all you have learned, how you have grown, and how you can actually apply these things in your life and in every other thing you're going to do moving forward. So basically, stick to whatever you want to do. If it's back end, front end, stick to it. Keep on building, like I said, contribute to open source, keep putting yourself out there, right? Putting yourself out there is actually very, very important. Like what our host here said, go post about what you've learned from this training, post about this meeting, right? Put yourself out there basically, and I basically see you all going far.
Thank you so much, Victoria. So reflect on the things that you've learned, find what happiness means to you and stick to it, and enjoy the H29 program. Thank you so much to all our speakers today. And again, congratulations to all the graduates. I'm going to pass the mic to Hanifa now. Hanifa.
Hi guys, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. Congratulations to everyone. It could be slightly noisy where I am. I just knew that I, had to be here to be able to congratulate you guys. Y'all have made us so proud. Like, we are proud of you anywhere, everywhere. We love you so much. And again, this is the next steps. We promise that those that graduated, you have opportunity to join an exclusive. It is super exclusive because in the next couple of minutes, actually right about now, we have the founder of Money Africa speaking with our alumni. So it's an exclusive community just for our graduates. So you have the opportunity to join the I4G alumni program where you have opportunities to job resources, amazing opportunities. Like it's just massive, right? And this is where you also help us help you. I say help us help you in the sense that you help us help you in the sense that you share what you've learned. You talk about what you've learned online. I'm sure a lot of you have seen from experience since 2020 that when you talk about what you've learned, when you share what you've learned, you get more opportunities, right? You get to show that you are proud of what you've done and you're confident in what you're doing. And the panelists have said it all, they've talked about their own experiences. They've talked about how you should work with your peers, create projects, don't stop learning, increase your portfolio, all that, All right. So every single one of you have gotten an email. And in that email, the first step is for you to fill in a survey. Now that survey is for us to be able to understand how exactly, the Zuri training has been able to impact you. And then from there, you move on to joining the I4G alumni. So immediately you fill in the survey, you get an automated email that tells you to, join the fill in the form for you, your CV, your resume. We have all of that in place, and you'll be able to have access to job opportunities and talents and our amazing talent partners. So after when you feel that you have access to join the Telegram group as well, where you meet with your fellow peers who obviously continue learning. So there's that. So once again, congratulations to every single one of you. Do make sure to fill in those forms, and we can't wait for you to join the alumni and have opportunities. All right, please let me know if you can hear me.
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. So we, at the beginning of the scholarship, we also announced that we are going to reward top people with, jobs/laptops, right? And yes, we have 5 laptops for 5 winners from this cohort, and we're going to be announcing on social media in a couple of hours. So keep your eyes out. We're super proud. Again, pray for us to, raise more funds. Your success stories will help us to raise more funds. And we're going to be able to get more laptops, and we're going to be able to train more people across Africa. 24,000 of you are graduating today. It's not a small thing. So, yeah, there's that. And what's next? What's next on the agenda?
Talk to us about cohort 2.
Yeah, cohort 2. Yeah, so cohort 2 is launching today, and the design will be shared with every single one of you. Please share with your friends, share with people that were not able to have opportunity to join your cohort. I think this time around, I'm not sure if I should be mentioning this, there's probably going to be a mobile development cohort. So cohort 2 is here. Again, we're going to be sharing. We're going to be launching today, later today. We're going to share on your Slack. We're going to send you emails. And we're looking forward to graduating a lot more of you very soon. So there's that. Then I think finally we have, now it's time to properly graduate. So there's going to be a link shared in the chat box. basically like a get BB thing where you talk about how you're graduating from this training and you're happy and blah 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 blah. So the team is going to share that. And once again, congratulations. We're super proud of you. We love you and we can't wait for you to join the alumni, for you to be able to access opportunities and jobs. Thank you so much, everyone. I think that's it for me.
Thank you so much, Hanifa. So the link will be shared in the chat box right about now. And then you all can put your image on it, use the blurb that will be sent to you, and let the world know that you're graduating and you're open to jobs. So I just sent the link now, and so all graduates should use this link to generate a DP and, post it on social media. We share as many as we see. We want the world to know that we have new graduates and, more people for them to hire into the African tech ecosystem. So we look forward to your posts, and yeah, that basically rounds up the graduation ceremony. I'm just going to give a couple of more seconds for people to use the link before we end this. Yes. And that brings us to the end of the graduation. Congratulations, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.